And on Lean On, which are the 2 or 3 things we can learn from?
This is a good story because I was in Amsterdam and I didn't know who Mo was. She's a young songwriter from Denmark, and she had followed me to a show. She's like, "I want to learn about your music. I want you to come see me, and like maybe we can play some music." And I didn't know who she was, but she was persistent enough to invite me to her hotel. She had like an apartment there, and like she's like, "If you give me some beats, I'll make something." So she picked this beat, straight reggae beat, right? We were doing some like it's just we were making reggae at the time, I guess. We had just done Get Free. It was a big record for us, for Major Lazer. And me and Junior Blender, another producer of mine, German guy, wrote this record. Just straight synth reggae, you know? Not very cool. But it has this sort of Stevie Nicks kind of bass line. I loved it. I sent it to Mo. She sent it back like this. She did all these records, all these beats for me to find the right. It's not the right one. Hold on, fun.
He's singing. He's so cool.
It was just a scratch. She had all these lines of the first verse. That was the chorus. And so I sat on this record probably for 2 years, and I was like, this isn't really good. I kept going back to it, and then eventually we had done some other demos with Mo, and I brought her to America. I was like, let's just try to write this record again. And at the time, DJ Snake had a really big record with the Luna George. I loved it. It was one of my favorite records. So I hit him up like, yo, can you help me twitch up the drums on this? And he was like, yeah, easy. He sent it to, I guess, one of his producers, and he came up with that synth line, the doom, 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 doom. I brought Mo over. We did it in Vegas with Luca, actually. We just sat for like 5 hours and just sat there, and like we wrote only like 6 extra words, but they were the words that made the song work, right? Changed some of the lyrics, and this beginning part was in the original beat, actually. And then, but this is like this pluck sound, so good. I'd heard this before. Yeah, it was like perfect. I think it was a Sierra preset, but then
It's a student preset, and you treated somehow? You did some treatment on this one?
adding a little reverb to it. Sub. Just massive. And then the drums, actually the same snare from that Luna George song, and then we had this like dembo, which if you know anything about dancehall or Jamaican music, you know that it's kind of like the same sounds from similar snare from this one.
Yeah.
Chopped it up.
The groove is that one.
Similar groove, different drum sounds though. But really,
And what's this?
just a fill. Lead it all out. It's like this.
And you created those spaces in the middle just to create this feeling of
Yeah, loose.
exactly.
It's loose. And then back to like at the time, DJ Mustard was really big. We'd try to do like it was actually trying to be a DJ Mustard kind of beat. But what I thought when I opened this is like there was a bunch of refs in here like that I was trying to mix the sound like. Let me find like
Get a bull up.
when you're mixing, you always put in mix references,
course.
right? And then you just kind of. This is the bass I wanted, kind of sound. This is the synth sounds I wanted. And this is like the snap of the drums I wanted. What's cool about Mo is that you hear like these crazy little ad libs, like where she's like, yeah, screaming because she came from like punk.
Okay.
She went to school for jazz, and that's how you have this tone that she has. But then she was in a punk band when she was younger, so she's like wanting to like do punk kind of screaming in the song. So it made the song very unique that we had this kind of punk and jazz element in the vocals, the beat being dancehall, and the synths being kind of like I would say cascade kind of sounds, you know?
Yeah.
You know, if you slow it down. Or 120 is probably even better. When I hear even the Little George record that was a reference, it was a remix. It's really hard to write over fully produced songs, I think, especially when it's new sounds. And when people produce these records and send me beats, hey, can you write something like this? I'm like, no, man. You really want to break a song down to keyboards and guitars. That's when you have a great song, and you can write great songs on simple parts. If you're gonna write it on a big bright record, especially a dance record, it's always gonna end up like a Chris Brown "I'm Dancing" song. That's the lyrics you tend to have. There's a new school though. I really love like Summon, Cascade, the female vocals that they do write on those chords. A lot of women can write these kind of epic melodic records now, but that's a new like genre. I feel like the last 10 years that's been created where women and men, you know, what's the guy that wrote all the he's been over here a couple times. The guy that wrote all the big Swedish House Mafia records, the Swedish guy. He's badass. He's so badass. He came over here. He's one of the few guys that can write. Swedish guys are just different.
Yeah.
They're just different. They write great record. They just like have a knack. American writers are a little behind. And the more I work with different people, like the big country writers like Amy Allen, I see like they need, or Sia, you just need some chords that inspire. You get those done, just get those chords out of the way, get that fucking song, send them on their way, and then go to your computer and start fucking hacking at it till you have something very.
So frankly, you say, I mean, you start with a good chord progression, inspiring, fresh.
Yeah.
You
The
write
production
you
might
write
take-
the track, and
yeah,
then
production might take- this took 2 years. It takes a long time, and then also, I tell people this all the time as a producer. It's like fashion. Like the way you dress, you wouldn't dress this way 5 years ago, but you're the same person, right? You change the clothes, things change. I dress in sweatpants. When I go out, I dress like maybe in a country outfit, or I wear like a suit to a party. That's the same thing as a song. It's always going to change. You can dress it up differently, but the roots is the song, right?
Yeah.
The way you dress is just kind of like how you choose the style of today, but the person is different. You know, it's always going to be that same person. Music's the same way. And when I think about dance music, I took a year off producing dance records because I've just kind of felt like there's too much of the same thing happening right now. Not bad. I just don't feel like I'm a participant in it. I spent a lot of years doing it, but I keep thinking back to like writing great songs, like Silence by Tiesto keeps coming back recently, and I'm like, that song just keeps getting remixed. People don't even know whose song it is, but it just keeps thinking that's a brand new song, a great dance song. Almost like the vocals can be timeless, like Masters at Work, or we're thinking about some other records. You know, Everything But the Girl, Missing You. These records, I can just, if that wasn't already written and released 20 years ago, 30 years ago, it could be a brand new record with a different drum set and a different synth sound. It would sound brand new. So I think when it comes back to dance music, I think next year I might try some of the old records I wrote and just whatever the modern sound that's really catchy, just run a couple tracks like that. And even on Suno, you can just do that in an hour. Run your acapella and just like kind of like there's all these different technologies that are going to change the way we think about dance production or house or even hip hop. But writing great songs is really the foundation, and having great chords is really the foundation. Production always been secondary to me. You know, I've learned it. I've been in and out of some of the best, you know, houses and studios in the world with some of the best producers, and there's something that they do that I'm not good at, but I'm great at conceptualizing. And I've always found myself to be like finding the right people at the right time to help with the job.